My guest is Paul Bloomfield, all the way from Tel Aviv, Israel. And so, Paul, thank you for staying up so late. I know it's past your bedtime, but
It
we're
is a bit.
really grateful. Paul, as you might have heard me mention in the first segment, is a PR and content management expert with 15 years of experience. So you now are the content, I'm going to get your title right, content department manager for a
Yeah.
global company called Percepto out of Tel Aviv. Now, let's get right into branding. That was what we were supposed to be talking about, but I always like to humanize these topics because, you know, if we just started talking about branding from the onset, people go, well, why the hell are we listening to this Paul guy? But now we know, right? You've been in this business for 15 years. Why is branding important? I mean, over these 15 years, what have you seen is the impact of branding? That's the first question. And then the second one, just so you're already there, is going to be, is branding just for businesses or can people brand themselves?
No, I mean, I think it's probably maybe it's better to answer the second question first.
Okay.
Branding is definitely not just for businesses. I think, and even when a business is thinking about its brand, it's often thinking about like whoever the face of that brand is, and in that way, that person's personal branding, is
Yeah.
also important,
Yeah.
and has to align uh, with the business brand, right? Um, I would say branding is important, especially these days in the last kind of 10 or 15 years since the dawn of social media, which has kind of epically jumped, especially in the last kind of 6 or 7 years.
Mm.
Um, Branding's really important, and especially now because you can't get away with anything anymore. It used to be that people could do things and it went under the radar, but now
Yeah.
with phones and things, and you have to think about who you are, and you have to think about how you want to be portrayed.
Yeah.
But branding is definitely important because it lets people know who you are.
Yeah. Is it
Um,
just portrayed or is it also how you're perceived?
I mean, with with our clients, I suppose,
Hmm.
we always want people to be themselves, right? That's the best way to do it.
So
I can't say that
authenticity.
all people's brands are always the same because I don't think that's necessarily true. But
Yeah.
we try to work with people who are,
Yeah.
uh, anyway,
Upstanding.
yeah, and so um, it's both. It's how you want to be portrayed and how you are perceived. Hopefully, the point of branding is that you make sure that they are aligned so that people perceive
Hmm.
you in the way that you want to be perceived.
Hmm.
Um,
And how do you
that's
achieve that in branding? How do you achieve that people will perceive you the way you want to be portrayed? Is it the narrative? Is it the
Yeah,
storytelling? Is it
yep.
what is it? Is it a message? What is
It's
it?
all of it. I think the most important thing about branding is consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking who are you? What's your message? What's your voice? And what's your tone? If you know, I deal a lot with personally. I deal a lot with my department with tone of voice and messaging because we deliver content, um, and so it's the most important thing because you want when you read something, you want to hear someone's voice.
Yes.
I think the main point of this is that regardless of businesses or personal or anything, people respond to people, right?
Mm.
We like to listen to people like us.
Mm.
Okay, so I want to buy things from people who are like me,
Mm.
think like me, um, which is kind of exactly what social media does, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because now almost we are almost told then this can be something which communications professionals have to kind of worry about and think about in terms of how we deliver narrative
Mm-hmm.
is we have to be delivering our message to our target audiences, and there are algorithms and things telling people who they should be listening to because Facebook and Twitter and Instagram listen to who you listen to or
Oh,
pay attention
interesting.
to
They're
it, and then
watching
they
to
rather
everything, every aspect of the
yeah,
ecosystem.
and Google or all of these big companies,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something we also have to think about. But yeah, I would say the main thing is you have to think about who you are, yeah, and who you want to be. You want to think about what your tone is, right? So, for example, are
Yeah, I
you
was going to say, let's talk about tone because
sure?
for folks who don't know, what I'm trying to share today is are these insights and these kind of tricks, if you will, or
They're
right
not
best
tricks.
practices,
Best
right?
practices, yeah.
Yeah, so that anybody watching or listening to this show will be able to realize, wow, how I say it, what I say,
Yeah,
where I say it, and to whom I say it
absolutely.
is the definition of branding in my naive
No, no,
mind.
no, absolutely. And tone is about okay. So, for example, if you are, uh, sometimes people want to be more formal. They want to maybe people who go to work wearing a suit, who deal with very professional things, who maybe deal with people of a certain generation or something
Mhm.
like that. I don't know. Like
Or
for that
genre or sector
reason,
or yeah,
absolutely, or industry, and they want to sound
industry. Thank you.
professional, and
Right,
they want to sound professional, they want to sound knowledgeable, and they want to sound because they know that that's what their target audience are going to respond to,
right,
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 on their professional platforms. Um, and so that's what you have to portray, and you have to keep it consistent. Whereas if you are a 21-year-old influencer who is from Instagram, then you want to be, I don't know, I'm
yeah,
just giving you
yeah.
an opposite example. You
Hypotheticals,
want to
yeah,
be fun, you want to be this, you want to be colorful, you want to, make, even if your brand, and it's not necessarily something I enjoy, but if your brand is using, you know, somewhat blue language and doing certain things that other people, if your target audience responds to that, then that's what you've got,
well,
again, it's not sort of people I deal with, but it's another
I
example.
don't even know what the hell blue language is, but
Oh, is that
I'm
a British thing?
assuming it's
Swearing,
nasty or
cursing, like cursing, swearing,
I was like
lots of
blue
F's and S's
language.
and B's.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I just wanted to explain that, right, for my audience. So now we are near the end of our time. See, I told you it goes so fast.
it does.
Next time we'll have to have you on. We'll bring you back, by the way, so that we can
Okay.
pick up right here and keep going because I just want to bring it all together here real quickly. So basically what I hear you saying is it's important for us to recognize that we need to brand our own image and you need to do it by the way we talk, dress, the message, the tone, right? The whole
Consistent, consistent,
and
consistent. Be
consistency
consistent. Yeah,
and authenticity. I heard that in
absolutely,
everything you said, which was
absolutely.
be true to yourself, be authentic, and be consistent. Is that a
Absolutely.
fair assessment?
I think that's a lovely roundup. Well done.
And I love the word lovely. So and roundup is now my new go-to for how I'm going to call encapsulating. Roundup. So Paul, what an absolute joy to have you on. Seriously,
Thank you
I
for having me.
love your energy. I love your passion. And thank you for sharing some of those best practices and insights from your 15 years as a public relations expert and a content manager. We will have you back. Be safe,
I'll be happy to come back.
sweet dreams, and toda. Toda. Ravakasha, right, is the response, right? Okay. Toda, toda.
Laila Tov.